All right, what's up everybody, and a special shout out to Digger. I hear that you are out there crushing your dreams. You guys are supporting your mom while she's here trying to build something amazing. I think that's incredible, and what she said to me that I love the most is she can't tell you guys to go chase your dreams if she's too afraid to chase hers. So the fact that she's here trying to do something to set an example and really kill it, I think that's amazing. All right guys, you really can't do anything you set your mind to, but you're gonna have to pay for a price. You're gonna have to pay a price, and that's a lot of hard work. So get after it, do it, and I know you guys will kill it.
Oh, you are unreal. Thank
My
you.
pleasure, absolutely.
Thank you.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, for the record.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Unconventional Life. It is Tuesday here in New York City, and I've got a cool jam-packed day just catching up with entrepreneurs all day, which is like my dream. How cool is that? Picking brains and connecting and helping each other. So I'm excited about today, as always, and glad to have you along for the ride. Keith, this is Corey.
Hey, there you go.
And I never had any plans to do that. I'd never had any plans to do anything for that market, those people, and I didn't plan on commercialising any of my internal tools, which is probably silly now I think about it, but I just wasn't thinking that way.
Because you had a particular focus. And I suppose that's one of the things about New York is, I was saying to one of the guys that was here on that evening, he's finished up at a job, and I said, so what are you thinking of doing? He goes, well, I've got all of these things. And I said, well, is that what you're actually going to just hold on to, and is that what you're going to take into New York? Or are you going to use that as the place to start from, and then as it unfolds and potentially other opportunities come up, move towards those? Will you be flexible enough to be agile? And he was like, well, I haven't really thought about that. I was just really going to focus on this. And I think that's one of the things about New York is it's like you go out there with this, but New York actually has a way of saying, well, I know you do this, but I actually want this.
Yeah.
So I think it's just one of those interesting aspects which we don't, I think we just don't have. We become at things, even though we live in a very multidimensional world, and coaching and consulting is multidimensional, we still in our own way at times have a very one-directional way of seeing the world. And I think that's one of the lessons I've learned in New York is that it's great to use that, but it's really just a North Star to see what other opportunities come around. What your thoughts around that were, in the sense that you seem to, from the conversation we had the other night, the chat, fireside chat, I think it's called.
Yeah, with no fire.
Yeah, it's all in the lighting. It's very dark, mysterious.
Yeah, totally. Like me, not.
I wondered if you asked the question, like when you want to go into these companies, you've got these 3 or 4 questions you ask, which give you a good insight as to where people are at and the company's at.
Yeah.
If someone said to you, but what do you want to manifest, and what is manifestation going to look like? What is it that your purpose when you're doing this, because there's a purpose behind it, you're not just going in and asking these 4 questions, you want to go in and ask these 4 questions, get an outcome.
Yeah.
What is the manifestation of that outcome? What does it look like? Because it's something I've not actually thought about before until the other night.
That's a serious dream, man.
Tell me about it.
Wow.
It's better than this because I've actually got a solution, I think, which I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay. So without giving this much thought, because it's a pretty full-on question, I think that I have an issue with wastage in businesses.
Okay.
And not leveraging not leveraging what's available as far as the people go, and creating structures that are practical as opposed to what we're always used to. So like a really basic example would be the consistent mistake of the only way to promote someone and give them more money and the better title is to put people under them.
Yeah.
Yet you have awesome people that are not good at leading people. But that's sort of, that you can't just be an awesome whatever with no people under and earn more money than anyone else, which is ridiculous. You should be able to do that. So that's a very basic example. So I look at things like that and think, but why? Like, why can't we just promote that person and not then give them any staff? Why do we have to throw another person at this? it's real. It's real when the founder is no longer connected to their business, and that I really believe that the business is a reflection of whatever the founder's going through in their life at that time. So I think that those really practical and like, why can't we do it this way? Like, I just don't. Why can't we do it that way? Type thing is making. I ultimately want to make businesses where everyone is squeezing all the juice out of the lemon.
Okay. Why?
Because I think it creates better results for whoever you're servicing. I think it creates better engagement and not even engagement, but more satisfaction as someone who works within that.
So is it though, because there's two aspects to that, because you're often being engaged by the company, is it you're seeking to wring the juice out of the lemon, squeeze the juice out of the lemon for the person who's engaged you, being possibly the CEO or the company, or is it that you're seeking to enrich the juice for the people of the company? Because they're two different.
Yeah, and for me, my personal focus is much more on the founder, CEO, because I think there's already a million consultants working on the people, and I understand the importance of that and why that is so important. But I think the founders are really lonely.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, I think I just found, and being in, part of entrepreneurs' organisations and and times where I just felt like I can't, like, one, you're expected to get it right. It's like we expect our parents to not make a mistake, or our teachers. So people are looking at you, expecting you to get it right, and they get really disappointed in you when you don't. Yet you don't know what you're doing. And I found it so hard to communicate how different I was and how differently I saw the world to my team, and then to sort of, I often felt like I was like, can you just give me a break? Like I'm trying my guts out, like I'm literally worried about you guys, every single one of you, 24/7, wanting you to be happy, wanting you to be engaged, wanting you to feel accomplished, and you think that I'm an asshole, and I'm actually trying so hard, genuinely care and trying so hard, but I can't seem to. No. And things like that. Those times throughout my journey, they really still are very raw, because it's like, and so that's why I like to work with those people.
So that begs an interesting question. And so often people, as they journey through life, are actually seeking to, in some way, shape or form, heal their own rawness. So do you think that at this point in time, it's about still an extension of you, in the sense it's like, okay, well, I've come this far and there's still these bits and pieces, and now if I start working with these sorts of people, then it enables me to, like, it's going to be a healing process for me too, in the sense that I get to walk through with other people, because that's often what they say, that like if you go and study psychologists, it's because you need.
I think talking about it for me, so like talking about, so in public speaking now, talking about the mistakes and the things,
part of your healing process.
and probably part of my way of apologising for not being, and I don't believe that I should have been able to do those things. So I'm not sorry for not doing something that I could have done, right? So I don't mean it in that sense, but it's like, I am continually reflecting and looking at why I did things certain ways, and why things worked and I nailed it, and why things didn't, and why that was, and what I've learned from those. So I think talking about them helps. So I work things out through talking. So that help me go, that's where I was at with that. Or even like there are things where I go, you know what? I got smashed by everyone for that, and I stand by it, and I do it exactly the same way again. And that is a message for a CEO or founder to say, don't worry.
There's going to be times
where they're just not going to be happy. But I'm really interested in the world of sharing your story and the impact that can have and how we do that. So like 4 years ago, we implemented a social media strategy at What's Next. We didn't use anyone externally, we just did it ourselves. We didn't have any idea, and it was, even then it was well before its time, but still well before its time in particular with our industry. And it's just incredible what it created. And so that has like sparked my interest. And then I'm really interested in the power of media from sharing journey, and I'm now doing it myself, looking at the feedback that I'm getting and the questions, which is all around how are you commercialising this.
Yeah.
So
But what's your purpose for doing it? I mean,
my purpose.
yeah, I mean, like.
So I think that I can, like I really am passionate about the fact that I think majority of people aren't living the life that they want to live.
Yeah.
I really believe that. From my
What I thought.
discussions with people, majority are not happy in something, and something significant, and they're going, it's just how it is. That's my life now.
Yeah, but that's not true.
It's not true, but that's the decision they've made, and that really gets me. I truly believe the world would be a better place if people were doing what makes them happy.
I agree.
The majority of the time, and I see people consistently that aren't doing jobs that they want to do, are in relationships they don't want to be in, are living where they don't want to be, hanging out with people they don't really get great things from, but they're not changing that because it's safe and secure and you know it. And if you step outside of that, people will judge you and question you, and I know
That's amazing.
it's amazing. So we're just working that out at the moment. Yeah, I'll take that.
There was a.
And are you talking to him about Zoota? Have you been talking to him about Zoota?
I was going to say, nice video. It's such a close up.
Yes.
I've been talking to him about the work they're doing in relation to the whole prevention of accidents.
Yeah.
So I'm doing some work with Munich Re at the moment, and I think what you guys are doing could be really valuable for that.
Yeah.
At the moment, they just don't have the bandwidth. So yeah. All right. I'll wait to hear from you. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
That was awesome. Far out, man. You're like,
Hope your head unpacks itself. Yeah.
see ya. Okay, so, whoa. What did you think about that conversation? Oh my gosh. It's like, got me really questioning some stuff that's thinking about at the moment.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable.
Yeah.
For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
He's
Front, is he already here?
yeah, and he's got a beard.
Okay. And I'll just hang with him in
Take him.
Fern until you get back.
Yes, and I'll just go this way to go to the
Okay.
bathroom. So
Yeah.
just hold off so I can.
I got it.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
Nice little. Yeah.
That's cool. Can I like just blatantly pick your brain?
Go for it. This is fun.
So I want to know how what has been your approach when you started here to get clients, and what's your experience been with that? I'm keen to understand how you've built your business
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
So it's, I guess, first off, it's way different than what I expected. When I first got here, so coming from Adelaide, I had the idea that Adelaide was the small niche where you had to know someone and you had to be in sort of the know, like in that clique
Yes.
to get to know someone. Got here thinking it'll all be credentials, it'll all be just, do good work, get good business, grow. It's not, it's a clicky place. So there's 8 million people here, and turns out all they want to know is who you know, and it kind of stacks on top.
Wow.
So when I first got here, I honestly, so I was very lucky. When I first moved, I had given myself 3 months off. I hadn't had a holiday for 10 years
Yeah.
properly, like without my laptop, without anything to do.
Yeah.
And I thought this 3 months is going to be my chance to, if I want to play PlayStation for a day, that is fine. And
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't realised quite how much I needed.
Yes.
So the benefit of that was that I got to spend a bunch of time just going out and meeting people socially. So I was going to bars and buying groups of people at bars drinks if they'd be my friend, which sounds utterly ridiculous now that I think about it, but I didn't know anyone at all. So I knew one person that lives in Long Island City and his wife, and they were effectively the only people I actually knew in the city. So I didn't have anyone to sort of call up and say, let's go for a drink or let's catch up for dinner. So I was going to a few local bars, not really loud nightclubs or anything, but just going up to places, and if there was a couple of people standing together having an after-work drink or something, I'd sort of say, I'm brand new here, the accent doesn't hurt, and I'd ham it up a little bit. But I'm new here and I'd love to have a chat, and you can be my friends for an hour if I buy you a drink. And 9 times out of 10, people would say, don't worry about the drink, we're happy to chat. I think
That's
one
nice.
or two people told me to, shove off and what the hell's wrong with me, but I was sort of like, there's 8 million people here, I'm sure I can find someone to have a chat with. But that sort of segued into meeting a few people, becoming sort of friends first, and then you'd start to talk about what you did, and then that sort of segued into meeting, being invited to an event that they were having.
And what percentage of your American Josh followers are entrepreneurs and business owners that have come here to start up?
So it's a tough one, because starting up your own thing, especially as an Australian, is a little bit difficult. It's a lot difficult. So actually starting a company that's... so you've got the group of people that get brought over for work. So they've all got a professional career. You've got the ones that are looking to transition into work. So they're looking for a job. Then you've got the ones that, some of them use the idea of a bit of a fallback of, doing this idea of starting a business and trying to bring themselves over. And I think they've got this idea, sort of just like the abundance of work that exists here, that you can sort of start a business and you'll just sort of...
There's so much work.
Fall into, So I'd say probably of the people that contact me, it's 10-20%, or probably 20% of people that reach out are asking questions about business and professional careers and starting a business and what's involved. And I think a lot of the time I'm a bit of a downer when it comes to trying to introduce a bit of reality in that, and trying to say this is absolutely an option, you can do it, it's not necessarily impossible, but just like, if you weren't considering starting a business in Australia, why do you think it's going to be any different here? In fact, it's going to be way more competitive. So,
and also find, I can't call anyone because they can't understand what I'm saying.
As in accent-wise?
Over the phone.
So I must admit, my name has become Josh. And my girlfriend always laughs at me because I'll yell across the bar, it's Josh.
Josh.
But I found there are a few things where it's just going to be easier if I, for weirdly, people don't understand my numbers 2 and 3, which I feel like 2 and 3 sound vastly different. But apparently I'm merging them into one big through. Because I'm getting it over and over again. People are saying, I'm reading out a credit card number and it's like 2. Like, no.
How do I measure my performance here and
professionally?
It's like I don't actually know how to navigate. There's so many things you can do. So then it's like a million networking things. So then you're like, should I go to everything, or should I not go to anything and just like it's
so different. To remember that professionally, like when you're rating sort of how am I going, in Australia you've been there for you've been in business for 10, 20, whatever years. And therefore, when you do something, it's an iteration of, with 20 years history, I'm going okay.
Yes.
And I think we do, I set myself some lofty goals for my first year, and I didn't make some of them, I'll be completely honest. But then I was sitting there, I'm like, hold on. You've been here for 12 months, you're not broke, so things are going okay. You accounted for some of these things, and business is starting to pick up, and you've got to give yourself a little bit of leeway that you can't think that you'd lob into a new city, understand the country personally, understand the professional requirements of what, for my company, I had to change some of the lingo, and my company's called Fortnite Digital because the first few weeks I had a few pitches and nobody knew what I was talking about when I said fortnight. It's bi-weekly or bi-monthly. Nobody can tell me.
It's both.
And I was sort of like, this is ridiculous. There's a word for this, And so I sort of gravitated towards that, and I've sort of held on to some things as my differences and tried to make them my, I am Australian, but I don't want to be called koala digital. So I was sort of, this is my way of like slightly
I love
iterating. But yeah, I think you do have to say I've done pretty well.
Yeah.
It's been however many months. Have I got to a spot where we're now set up? We're
Yep.
ready to go. Okay.
On record, off record, I still count wins when they doubt it. On record, off record, I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record, I still.
Yeah, I'm just so appreciative of everything that you've shared so far today, but also like the dinner and the e-news, like the newsletters. Like it's just so valuable.
No.
I really appreciate it. You're doing great things for
you very
Aussies
much.
coming to New York.
Thank you. It's been great to meet you.
Yeah, let's do that.
And there'll be more events.
Yeah, and if you have a spot to put my vlog in the newsletter, I'd love to get.
I'll
come
put my
get-
referrals for other people and all that.
That's awesome. Okay,
Thank you.
have a great day. People like that make it all the easier for to relocate to a completely new country when you have so much to learn. He was cool, hey? Let's sit here, we'll just move
I'm so excited that you actually said yes.
Oh.
I said to myself a few weeks ago, when I was really looking at everything that you do, I'm like, I need to meet her. I wonder if I just simply ask. You know what I mean? You sort of rack your brain like, do I have an angle? Do I know anybody that knows her? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ask and see if there's a chance that we could connect. So I'm really appreciative of you saying yes.
Well, thanks for reaching out. And I'm like just chuffed that you were following the stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm totally following.
And how did you come to know about it?
You know, honestly, I think I was just doing a sort of a Google, like who's doing experience engagement work. I think I kept putting in sort of experience over and over again. And then I did a search on Instagram, and I think those two sort of collided. And then something that you posted on LinkedIn floated my way, like one of the earlier vlogs, the one where you're sort of sitting with an army jacket on, so it looked like a little army jacket and some jeans with a hole in the knee, and you were just chatting to somebody. I'm like, she's my soul.
I love
for
it.
those reasons. And and the other thing that once I really looked at it, and when I got on your website, I'm not claiming anything similar, but I could have said every word that you said on that website. Like, it's just like, oh my God, that might be somebody in my tribe. So
Yes.
that was the impetus for it.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did.
too.
Can you tell me, like, give me your story? This is Helen, who
Helen.
I work with.
Water.
She's bringing us water. How nice is that?
Nice to meet you. So let's make it really short, and then I'll find the fun parts. I've been in the States 30 years. I was 20 when I came. I, like you, didn't love university, got out as soon as I could. I took a chance moving to Italy for a year and a half, and fell in love with just the idea of living abroad. And no real clue what I wanted to do. I was always one of those kids at school that I just did it well at school. I wasn't like the top of the class.
Yeah.
I was never the bottom.
Yes.
You know, my personality was sort of one of the gifts you get, you know, when you can just sort of put yourself in any situation. And so anyway, while I was in Italy, the friends that I made, they heard about the green card lottery.
Ah, yes.
And at that time, Brits could apply, which is no longer true. And so over pizza and beer one night, we sat down and said, oh, let's give it a go, it'll be a lark. So we all applied, the whole class, 25 of us, 6 of us got a green card in the lottery. And I was one of the 6. And it's so truly like winning the lottery. And over pizza and beer, everyone's like, well, where are we going? And it was either New York or LA. I wanted New York, everyone else wanted LA. I wasn't quite brave enough to stand my ground, and so off we went to the West Coast. We lasted 3 days in LA. And it's funny because I love it there now. But when you're on the shocker wave from, you come from the UK,
Yeah.
you get to LA, 3 days, we rented a car, we drove down the coast to San Diego, and I lived there for 10 years. And with the absolute sort of, I'm going to New York, at some point in my life, I'm getting to New York. And so at the 10-year mark, I got a transfer with the company I work for, and moved to the East Coast, and sort of I've moved up and down the East Coast a bit, but ultimately settled in New York 13 years ago.
I never really worked in big corporate, so I don't know that space. But I guess I love working in the small to medium business space because of those things that you talk about. And that I have, I know what it's like to, have your house on the line for a dream. But I also have huge respect for the employees that choose to work in small to medium business, because they can get more money and a lot more security, and they can get away with a lot more in a large corporate. In a small business, as an employee, you still feel every bump. I say that to my team. One of our values in the Australian business is we're passionate, and in tough times we fight. We don't quit. We recognise that this just sucks, but this is the time that we fight through, and that we'll come out the other end. So I want to work with people who are passionate, but I don't expect people to be passionate all the time, because sometimes it's just not great. But I have enormous respect for the employees who have worked with me, but also for the clients I've worked with over the years, because we expect so much more of them, and they're exposed to so much more of the hardships, and they have to be scrappy and all of those things, and it's a lot easier in corporateville. But I think it comes down to the fact that they don't want to be in an environment where they can't show up as themselves.
I'm dying to know, how long have you been here in New York?
So for the last 3 years I've been coming back and forth. So it started off with coming 3 times a year for a couple of weeks, for not really any reason other than the fact that I just felt this pull, and this was the only place I felt calm. And people would say, well, why are you there again? Are you working? And I was like, not really. I was just, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing, but I just needed to be here. And then that became more and more and more. And then I just kept thinking, what is this? Like there's something there. And in December last year, I brought my family over just for a 2-week holiday. And they were like, you need to be here, Mum. Like, you're just different here. And so my plan this year was to spend the whole year, just spend more time here than at home, but just observe and really think about it from the perspective of, do I actually want to live here, or is this place my escape? And if I come here, then I can't escape to here. And if I decide that I do want to be here, then do I think that I could make something here? And so my plan was that I would just spend the whole year sort of looking at that. And it was quite interesting when my first trip this year with that new plan, just the things I started to see. It's like I had a different glasses on, what I was seeing. But then by July, so my plan was to sort of give an update by the end of June to sort of say, yeah, I'm going to continue on this observation, or no, I don't, I've made a decision. But I employed Helen, and I was like, I'm going for it. I'm not wasting any more time. So this is the thing that I've been asked a lot recently. So what is the message you're trying to put out there? And I'm like, I'm not trying to put any message out there. I'm just like, so the question was, so what was your message on Thursday night? Because there was, there's a broad amount of topics that were covered, and you said a lot of different things. So what were you trying to get across? It was like, I wasn't trying to get across anything. I was being asked questions about my life, and I was answering them. So, but what was the purpose? Like, who were you trying to target? It's like, nobody. So I get the importance of having a clear message for your target market, and not having a clear, like, this is who I'm talking to, and so this is what I'm going to talk about. But then it's like, whenever you're doing anything that's not showing how you're going to get immediate return, people can't understand why you're doing it. It's like, maybe I'm just doing it because I'm doing some stuff that I think could be useful to some people, and I'm just sharing, like, yeah, okay, I get nothing from doing that. I mean, we knew that we could get some good footage, and we could meet some people or whatever, but ultimately we weren't trying to get a whole group of founders in the room and me to pitch what I do. I was just sharing my story, and it's like, but why would you do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you doing this? What's the commercial return? How are you monetizing this? It's like, I don't mean to sound like a dumb business owner, but I'm actually not right now. You know, it's like a long-term strategy.
I'm just too. Everyone's.
That's the only question that I get asked, and
in Australia too, right?
Mainly in Australia, yeah. Here, not so much. I don't know, but and then the recent thing is, but what is your like? I have clear purpose in, you know, areas of business and areas of life, but then at the moment I'm like, you know, just trying stuff and, you know, just really wanting to be present to what comes up, you know, like, and be present to, like, if an idea comes up or we meet someone or we see something that we're like present to go, that's the thing. But if you're not, like, those things come past all the time and you just don't see them. But it's like everyone is way more uncomfortable about me not really knowing than I am. I'm not at all uncomfortable about not really knowing. Like, I'm excited about, it's like, you know, we've got our goals and our plan and, you know, the things we want to be in 12 months time, but I'm also super excited because it's like, I wonder what we'll be doing in 12 months time.
Yeah.
And everyone's like can't seem to deal with the fact that, you know, I'm just figuring it out. I don't know whether it's because of my age or...
I think a lot of people like to feel very certain. Like, even if they're not certain, they like to present the confidence to others that, like, this is my plan, I have this figured out.
Yeah.
And I think it's, like, when someone like you, who they obviously, like, probably really enjoyed your talk, maybe they, like, it kind of makes them uncomfortable. Like, oh, it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
They don't want to not know what they're doing with their lives.
Yeah.
Like, I tell students I meet all the time, like, it's not like you graduate from school and you all of a sudden have it all figured out.
Oh my gosh.
I've changed careers multiple times.
Yeah. It's like I was saying to I'm just like want to enjoy the process of, I want to enjoy having this experience and not just all be about, you know, this goal. Like you know, like we kind of came in yesterday and we're like, it's Monday, yeah. You know, like it's like, because it's like, we're enjoying what we're doing, and like good things have to come from enjoying what you're doing. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like that guy's like, well, I'll do the music for you, and it's like, I just love stuff like that.
Love it. Yeah. You have to go to lunch.
Got lost in the ball and A's. I'm flipping the bars, I'm flipping the on record, off record. I still count wins when they doubt it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals.
I've like had one of those days where I feel like I've just been asking a million questions of people to help me with things, which is amazing. And New York is always great for that because everyone wants to help you. And I think it's just so important to like ask for help and. You know, don't be afraid to invite people to catch up and, you know, pick their brain, so to speak. So yeah, it's been one of those days and I've just got all this information in my head. I feel like my head's about to explode. So I need to go and digest that, and I'm going to do that after catching up with some awesome New York EOers. We're having lunch, so I'm excited about that. But I'm peacing out for today. See ya.